It's actually not that unusual in September. In fact, I did a WxYz on it 3 Septembers ago. But in November, in Michigan, a football game interrupted by lightning? Well, yes, it was last Saturday afternoon. The weather map showed a warm front stretching east across Indiana and Ohio from a low in Illinois. North of that front, chilly high pressure kept surface temperatures in the low 40s in lower Michigan. Not exactly thunderstorm weather. But southerly winds south of that warm front overran the chilly air north of the front, and that produced an interesting vertical temperature profile over lower Michigan. Here's what that looked like. The red line here shows temperature as a function of height above Lansing, Michigan on Saturday afternoon. Now, the lowest few thousand feet were in the 30s. This is too cold for thunderstorms to bloom there. But between 5 and 8,000 feet, what we call an elevated warm layer, essentially relatively warm air well above the surface. This is what served as the source of the rising air that produced the thunderstorms. Longtime Weather World meteorologist Lee Grency likes to call this instability with a jacket on. As for the impact of those thunderstorms on the Penn State-Michigan State game, the NCAA adopted lightning safety guidelines 20 years ago, and most universities follow them. Once lightning is within 8 miles of an outdoor venue, play should be suspended, and all spectators should be in a safe place by then. Michigan State actually uses 15 miles instead of 8. That's when they take teams off the field and clear the stadium. Now, that proximity to lightning triggers at least a 30-minute automatic delay, and play can't resume until 30 minutes after thunder is last heard or lightning is last seen. The Penn State game was delayed by lightning at 1:15 p.m. on Saturday. Here's an animation of lightning strokes starting around 1 p.m. centered on the stadium, courtesy of WeatherStem. The yellow circle has a radius of 30 miles, the orange circle 8 miles. Yellow bolts are cloud to cloud, blue and red are the cloud to ground strikes. There were about 25 of those between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. within 8 miles of the stadium. And though there were some long breaks between bolts, the strikes were somewhat unpredictable and spaced out enough in time that it was hard to resume the game much earlier than the 4:38 p.m. restart time after a 3+ hour lightning delay. How unusual are thunderstorms in lower Michigan in early November? Well, here's a plot of the number of hours that a thunderstorm was observed in Lansing, Michigan since 1960 as a function of the week of the year. So the numbers on the bottom go from 1 all the way up to 52. Last Saturday was in week 44. I have highlighted that bar in red. Only 17 hours during that week in the last 57 years has a thunderstorm been observed. That's 17 out of a possible 9,576 hours. In other words, what happened Saturday was really, really unusual. Lightning from the same weather system delayed the start of the Big Ten Women's Soccer Tournament championship game on Sunday near Indianapolis for more than 2 hours, then interrupted the game in the first half. It eventually had to be finished indoors. Ironically, Penn State was playing in that game too. Stay tuned. The extended forecast is next.